I read The Town and the City, published in 1950 by Jack Kerouac. It's really divided into three sections. The first three are set in Galloway, Massachusetts, and the latter two are more in New York City. The book begins in the 1930s and ends in the mid-1940s. The father, George Martin, originally owns a printing business. At the end of Section 2, his printing business closes down. At the end of Section 4, he moves his family to New York City. And at the end of Section 5, he dies of cancer. I picture him as the typical 1950s dad, though with a more melancholy tone. The mother is Marge Martin. She's a good housekeeper and loves her family. I do feel a little sympathy for her by the end of the novel. All her kids have scattered throughout the country and hardly ever visit or write letters home. The daughters are Rose Martin, who begins the story age 21, and Ruth Martin, who begins the story age 18. They don't appear in the story that much, but they both find husbands by the end. The oldest son is Joe Martin, who begins the story age 17. He becomes a truck driver. The next son is Francis Martin, who begins the story age 15. He had a twin brother, Julian, who died when they were young. Francis was described as a sickly but intelligent child. In the second section, he gets accepted into Harvard and discusses philosophy with his classmates. His attempts to be commissioned in the U.S. Navy fail, and he is instead sent to boot camp. He pretends to be insane in order to get an honorable medical discharge. The next son is Peter Martin, who begins the story at age 13. He's probably the novel's main character. In the first section, he is the halfback on his high school's football team. In the second section, he attends the University of Pennsylvania. In the third section, in World War II, he serves on a ship called the Westminster. In the fourth section, he befriends a bad crowd in New York City. In the fifth section, he is present for his father's death. The youngest daughter is Elizabeth, or Liz Martin. She begins the story at the age of 12. In the third section, she runs off to marry pianist Buddy Fredericks, and she is furious after she suffers a miscarriage. In the fourth section, she and Buddy have separated, and she feels jaded. Another son is Charlie Martin, who begins the story age 9. In the second section, he breaks a window and is slapped by a cop. At the end of the third section, he is a soldier in World War II. In the fifth section, soldiers dig up his dead body. The youngest son is Mickey Martin, who begins the story age 6. He goes to horse races with his father and bets on a horse named Green Swords. They end up winning a lot of money. The town of Galloway is both attractive and repellent. It might be nice to live in a New England town where one man's salary can provide for a wife and 8 kids. But the town is so culturally isolated, and the biggest events are the high school football matches. The minorities who drive culture are pretty much absent. There is one African-American man, a cook named Glory, who serves on a ship that sinks in World War II. The commentary around New York City homosexuals is borderline offensive. The holidays, the seasons, and the years are described so beautifully, but it's probably a little too flowery. I started to feel a little bored with it after a while. The narration jumps around from character to character. Mostly Peter, Francis, Joe, and their father, George, and provides us with vignettes about their daily lives. But none of these characters get a fully realized story of their own, and none of the stories really tie together into an exciting climax. I would have liked to have followed one character's coming-of-age journey. Overall, I give this book a 7.5 out of 10.